Listen, guys. I lost my way. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a quitter. I was a loser. I was a rat fiend and a fink. And I'll tell you what. All the games that we've acquired over the past year and a half, they're all gone. I sold them. I sold every last one of them. Except for the stuff that you guys sent me as gifts. That stuff I just couldn't sell. That stuff had sentimental value to me. I just couldn't get rid of it. And you say, well, why? Why did you do that? Why'd you do that? Because it got to the point where I would wake up out of bed. I'd be stepping on games on the floor. I'd have games stacked to the ceiling in here. Not that I don't like that. I love that, as a matter of fact. But one day I had to sit there and I had to evaluate. And I looked around and I said, you know something, Jesse, what do you got here? What do you actually have here? And you know what it was? A bag full of shells. That's what I have, a bag full of shells. You had to say to yourself, well, I mean, you know, how many of these video games that you have are video games that you actually like? And to be honest with you, 85% of them I haven't even played. And some other things happened in my life and I decided to stop doing the channel. I guess I needed a break from it. Even this stripped down show that I do, it requires a lot of time and it requires a little bit of effort. And you know what? I just bailed on it. I bailed on the show, and you know what? I was out of the show for like a month and I was just disgusted with myself. And you know what? Every time I looked around and every time I saw these video games, it was another reminder about how I failed and how I quit. And it just broke my heart. So during like a week's time, I just did a fire sale. I just sold everything. I mean, we're talking about I took every single Nintendo game that I had, which was over 200, and I just boxed them up in an enormous box. I put them on eBay, 99 cents, and let it ride. If you guys are out there, please ask for my my friendship again and my subscriptions, because I basically deleted a bunch of you guys, and not because I wanted to, because it was just so painful to see you guys up there and see you guys doing things, and I was sitting here just doing nothing, just rotting away. And it was just too hard. So one morning I was making my breakfast. It was a Saturday morning. I said, what am I going to do this morning? And I said, you know what you're going to do? You're going to walk out the front door, and whatever direction your car is facing, you're going to get in your car and you're going to drive in that direction until you see something that interests you. You're going to let fate guide you. Whether it be a girl walking down the block with a nice ass, or whether it be, you know, who knows, a store having a sale. But to be honest with you, I wasn't thinking of garage sales. And wouldn't you know, when I walked out my front door, there was a garage sale 2 houses down from me. And I said, let me go over there and check it out. And I was walking up and down the driveway, and I came across this. And I saw inside was video games. And I said to the guy, I said, how much you want for this? And he said, $10. He said, $10 for everything. And I told him, you know, I looked at it and I said, do we really want to start this? Do we really want to start this again? Is this the direction we want to head? And I looked inside and I looked at the guy. I said, how about $5?
So as you can see, the dramatic twist in the tale is that he did return to collecting video games. he did return to playing video games, and he returned to making the effort week after week to attract an audience, to build up a successful YouTube channel devoted to this hobby, and to some extent also talking about his life as it unfolds. But he devoted himself, once again, to this perpetual childhood of being an adult whose life really revolves around video games. Part of what I find interesting in this case study is that he does show signs of self-awareness, self-criticism, and self-loathing. Evidently in his life, every so often, again and again, he reaches these points where he stops and suddenly feels, this can't be what my life is about. It must be that there's something meaningful, something more important that I should be devoting my time, my effort, my talent to. There must be more to life than this. There are times when he evidently feels burdened by the shallowness, the childishness, the meaninglessness of this hobby that is for him much more than just a hobby, of course. But as you can see, when he has turned his back on video games, when he has tried, however briefly, when he has made however feeble an effort to pursue a more meaningful life, he later regrets it and devotes himself once again to this peculiar, perpetual childhood of being an adult video game addict.
It looks like almost like a promotional game from Bubblicious. I don't know, I've never seen it around before. That's not to say that it's a rare game or anything like that. It might be very common. And here we go. It's a new start. It's a new beginning. It's a rebirth. So I got news for you. I'm going to go to the garage sales, and guess what? I'm not changing the formula. I'm going to haul everything I can haul. We're going to take everything we can take. Because I got news for you. As much as I was upset with the amount of inventory we had and stuff that I never played and this, that, and the other thing, I miss every bit of it. Every single bit of it. And so now tomorrow is Saturday, and we're going to get out there, and we're going to start big time hauling. So if you guys are with me, here we go.
About 1 year ago now, my YouTube channel told a very different chapter of this guy's story. And I think if you listen for another minute, you'll see that it is no exaggeration to say that video game addiction has been part of the tragedy of his adult life, or that it has been the primary, most important tragedy of his life as a whole, childhood development, education, and adulthood, every stage, and all of them taken together. And why do I present this to you in the audience now? Because I think that each of us has to reflect on the extent to which video games have been part of our own personal tragedy. Certainly, at the least, the squandering of our human potential also.
I used to have a very substantial video game collection. And I moved in with a girl, and we lived together for about 3 years, and we fought like cats and dogs. What do couples fight about? The laundry, who's doing the dishes, or who's taking out the garbage. Me and my girlfriend got into a huge argument one day, and the following day I went to work, and when I got home, I went downstairs to my lair, and everything was gone. I freaked out. I mean, I know you guys have video game collections, and I've seen them online, and just imagine for a second, if you came home and all your stuff was gone. I mean, gone. I mean, the shelves gone. Everything was gone. So my girlfriend got home, and I confronted her about it, and she said she took all of it and she chucked it in a dumpster. And when I asked her where she threw it out, she wouldn't tell me. And I belted her in the face. And with the kind of luck I have, I wound up breaking a jaw and went to jail for about 1.5 years for it. And while I was in jail, when I wasn't eating, sleeping, or getting, I was in the library on the computer, and I was watching I would watch game review channels on YouTube. That's what I would do. And I said, this is great. I said, a lot of these guys have impressive stuff, and I said, this is something I feel I can do. This is something that I'm passionate about, and that was my thing. I said, when I get out, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. Stick with me. I'm working on my set right now. I'm building a set. We're going to have a desk. Got to get a microphone for this goddamn camera because the audio is terrible on it. And we're going to go cruising for video games. And we're going to find good stuff. I'm really looking forward to this.
It is no exaggeration to say that this was his dream. This was the dream that put him in prison. This was the dream that motivated him while he was in prison for 1.5 years. And it's the dream that has really guided, formed, and informed his life in the years since he got out of prison. He's now married. He's raising a child. He's obviously a skilled craftsman and artist. He has many videos showing himself making things with his hands that are very impressive. I think almost all of them are things related to video games that he's making. This was his dream. But still, every so often, he has this self-awareness. He has this gnawing doubt that the dream may be a nightmare, or that the dream can't possibly be real. There must be some other life. There must be some more meaningful life for him on this earth. It's a dream that still, sometimes, he feels he must rebel against.